Right now, there are countless people who are trapped in their homes with somebody who is a constant threat. Outreach is the bridge between folks who may never otherwise get help to the huge community of people who are waiting to help them.
Buenas, estamos aquí dando información para las personas que necesiten ayuda con lo de la violencia doméstica.
I believe in outreach. I know that when people have the necessary support, they often leave dangerous situations.
Buenas, ¿le gustaría una tarjetita? No, está bien. We are supporting survivors of domestic violence, okay? ¿Necesita una máscara?
Sí, ¿tiene?
Sí, tengo una máscara. Cójalo.
My name is Karla. I am the community organizer of our violence intervention program. I've been there a little bit over a year and an organizer for over 5 years. So I'm going to go ahead and put on my mask now to feel a little bit safer.
I go outside with members who are survivors of domestic violence, sexual violence, state violence, and they still feel brave enough and comfortable enough to go outside during a pandemic.
The team is the Promotoras program. So you have Victoria, and you have Matilde, and we have our volunteer, Kenya. Recently, we had an intimate partner homicide right here in East Harlem. Her name was Tania Gonzalo, and she had an active order of protection against the person that was causing the abuse. During this quarantine time, he came back and he murdered her. We know there are going to be other intimate partner homicides. Women are quarantined, and this information is needed right now.
We're a tiny but mighty organization of 56 staff, and we're located in communities that are heavily low-income, Latinx, immigrant in East Harlem, South Bronx, and Corona, Queens. We provide immediate crisis services to people who are fleeing domestic violence. That includes a hotline and an emergency shelter. We also provide ongoing counseling support to survivors and their children, as well as ongoing advocacy to make sure that people are getting all of the resources that they need to help stabilize after violence.
Soy sobreviviente de violencia doméstica y en esa organización recibí muchas ayudas para salir adelante y por eso quiero que las otras mujeres también tengan la oportunidad de defenderse y salir adelante con sus hijos.
I will give her a hug, but I shouldn't. But I want to give her a hug because I'm really proud of them. The reason why we come to certain locations is based on what the members advise me and us to do. They are community leaders, which means that they know the community better than any of us knows. They're able to tell, listen, right now there's going to be 600 people. Let's do outreach here.
Karla Mejia is the first community organizer we have had on our staff in decades. She is truly reestablishing incredible work to do organizing of survivors who are also activists and who want to make change in their own communities.
They are distributing food to hundreds of people in East Harlem.
Right now we got almost 250 people online, and plus the people that are going to come into the day.
Yeah.
So I believe we're going to serve like 600 people today.
So this gives us the opportunity to also distribute material to like 600 people, so they're aware that there's emergency shelters and that there is emergency counseling. Estamos aquí dando información para cualquier persona que necesite servicios de violencia doméstica. Community outreach has historically been one of the most effective ways for social media to deliver the information into the hands of people.
I know my family is really concerned about me. I know other people that have questioned whether we should do outreach or not, but that doesn't really stop the work.
We are also partnering up with the local businesses. When a bodega gives us the opportunity to tape one of our posters up, we come back and we give them material. So we start building that relationship in community. This is to support people that need help with domestic violence. okay? One of the main focuses is the pharmacy. A lot of women tend to go pick up medicine. We are an organization that supports survivors of domestic violence. We wanted to know if you could allow us to put up our posters just right there. Thank you. Before the pandemic, people didn't really want our material, but given the circumstances, they're more open to allowing this information to be taped in their businesses. Violence intervention has been around for over 35 years. We do a whole bunch of things that regard the safety of survivors of sexual and domestic violence. One of the many things that they do is they have emergency shelters.
So this is what a typical bedroom looks like when they're first moving in. We have 3 beds, so we can typically house 1 adult and up to 2 children. Every new client that comes in is provided with new bedding, new pillows, toiletry kit, food for themselves and for their family up until they can get themselves situated. We have childcare on site for the clients that may need to have someone watch their child while they're in the midst of, meeting with their counselor, or they have an appointment, they can come here. We have a clothing pantry. We get donations from everyone, and as clients are coming in, they can feel free to take a look at whatever is here and take as much as they may need. We have 8 scattered site shelters throughout the boroughs. All of our locations are confidential for the safety of the clients. Community outreach is really important during this time. Karla is out basically on the front lines providing information that is crucial to get to the victims so that they know that our services are still available.
¿Cómo les fue? Bien. All right, so así nos vamos. That's it, we're good for right now.
Okay, so we're coming back from outreach, and I'm gonna show you what it's like to step back in the house, which is the part that I dread the most. Spray my mask. So this is what I do to make me feel comfortable, right? Take off your shoes. I don't like to keep my shoes from outside in here. Now I have to go ahead and wash my hands. Wipe this down. Wipe this down. Wipe this down. Wipe my phone down. It was a successful day. There was hundreds of people out in the streets. Lockdown has not been an easy thing for anybody. What has been the most difficult thing is to see the undocumented community really struggling. People have been dying in our community. I live in hope, I live in possibility, but the reality is that there's real pain happening in the streets.
Domestic violence is a symptom of patriarchy. A lot of the people in our community are not even getting any sort of financial relief from the government, from the city. That's extremely traumatizing. It makes you question, are you worthy of food? Are you worthy of a house? Like, are you worthy to live? You wonder how people are going to make it.
Hola, buenas tardes. Estos son servicios para la comunidad sobre si alguien necesita ayuda con lo de la violencia doméstica, cualquier otra consejería. We have services for people who need services for DV.
For what?
For DV, domestic violence. It's impossible to social distance, especially in communities like this, where there's so many people living here, and we have like the hospital, we have commercial areas, schools. Yeah, it's impossible. Si usted conoce a alguien por aquí, le da la información.
I've experienced violence in different ways, in more ways that I even feel comfortable talking about, but organizing empowers me, and it makes me feel like I'm still capable of doing all the things that I want to see transformed in the world. And that's the sentiment that I share with others in this fight. I just realized that it was time for me to be able to mobilize with my sisters, with the doñas, with the women who are not able to, get the opportunities that I have.
Everybody needs support with like domestic violence.
Oh my gosh, you guys are freaking amazing.
Yeah,
I'm a domestic violence counselor here at the hospital. This is amazing. This needed to work out.
All right, take care. Bye.
So you see, community outreach is so important. We just made a connection with someone inside of Lincoln Hospital, just doing the community outreach, and she's awesome. She's excited to help us, and we'll help each other. So we're gonna build a bridge with Lincoln Hospital.
I mean, Karla's a badass. There's just no way around it. Anybody who's willing to put themselves out there this way for community is doing incredible work.
Yes, I have certain anxieties. I don't want to get anybody that I love sick. I don't want to get sick, but at the same time, it's kind of this war mentality where it's like there's this battle and we have to be there. And if we're not there, no one else is going to be there for us. Hola, buenas tardes.
Buenas.
Working class communities, communities of color, marginalized people have always been on the front lines. We have always been outside protesting. And we're still doing that because we don't have the privilege to stop being in the front lines. Hopefully, not for the rest of our lives, but we're always going to be there for each other.